careful, you idiot! Man your weapons!
After decades of peace, Jake Sully and Ney'tiri have built a large family on Pandora, raising their children in the lush forest. However, their tranquility shatters with the return of humanity's destructive forces, spearheaded by a vengeful Colonel Quaritch reborn in an avatar body. Forced to flee their home, the Sully family seeks refuge with the oceanic Metkayina clan, where they must learn the challenging ways of the water to survive, facing new threats and old enemies in an epic struggle for their world.
Shit! Holy shit. Hold him up! I got you. Hurry, go, go, go! Dad! Dad, no. It's a damn! He's hurt! Bro, watch his head, watch his head! Just watch his head. I'm here. It's okay. I know. It's okay, we're going. It's okay. Dad.
No. No.
Yeah, I think you can.
Lord. Let's go get him. There's like a pool in the center.
Your boy. Copy. Sound off. Eyes up, eyes up. Push right, get around on her.
Bobby.
Running out of time here, Cole. Weapons down.
Don't.
Cuff yourself. Cuffs. Well, you think I care about the same species?
Listen to me. Let her go. Please just let her go, okay? Just let her.
Show you a death. You're not leaving, are you, Jake?
Jake, come on. Great mother. Jerry!
Hey guys, today we are diving deep, and I mean deep, into the visually stunning and emotionally resonant world of Avatar: The Way of Water. We're going to recount every splash, every strategic move, and every heartbreaking moment, tracing the Sully family's desperate journey for survival and belonging. It's a grand spectacle that demands a grand recap, and trust me, we've got a lot to unpack about Pandora's oceans and the incredible creatures within them. I put a lot of work into these, so if you like what you see, a like and a subscribe is always appreciated. No worries if not. Our story begins more than a decade after the events of the first film, long after the Sky People were supposedly vanquished from Pandora. Jake Sully, the former human marine, has fully embraced his life as an Metkayina Na'vi, taking on the mantle of chieftain. He and Ney'tiri, his fierce warrior mate, have built a family that is frankly adorable, but also a little chaotic, as most families tend to be. There's Ney'tiri, their eldest, a dutiful and brave young warrior, a spitting image of what a firstborn son should be, always trying to keep his siblings in line. Then we have Loak, the middle son, who is essentially the classic middle child, always feeling overlooked, always pushing boundaries, and frequently finding himself in trouble. It's a trope, but a relatable one, isn't it? Their youngest daughter, Took, is sweet and innocent, still very much a child. But perhaps the most intriguing members of their brood are Kiri, adopted from Grace Augustine's avatar, who possesses a mysterious and profound connection to Awa, the life force of Pandora, and Spider, a human boy abandoned on Pandora, who prefers the Na'vi way of life, complete with war paint and a total lack of concern for personal space, much to Ney'tiri's subtle annoyance. He's essentially the honorary cool older brother who brings slightly questionable influences. Their home, for now, is in the lush, vibrant forest of the Metkayina, a place teeming with life, where the canopy forms a natural cathedral and the ground hums with the pulse of Awa. The family lives a relatively peaceful existence, teaching their children the ways of hunting, tracking, and honoring the forest, a stark contrast to the previous film's war-torn landscape, making it almost feel like a nature documentary sometimes, but with more blue people.
But peace, as we all know, is a fickle thing, especially when humanity is involved. The tranquility is shattered when the Sky People return. Not just a few ships, mind you, but an entire armada, a massive invasion force blotting out Pandora's vibrant sky. This isn't just a raiding party, this is a full-scale colonization effort, complete with giant spacefaring vessels that dwarf the home tree itself. The air is thick with the metallic drone of dropships and a low growl of heavy machinery. The RDA, or Resources Development Administration, isn't just looking for unobtainium anymore. They're here to make Pandora their new home, as Earth, apparently, has become a bit of a fixer-upper. Their grand plan is to terraform Pandora, to make it hospitable for human life, which, naturally, involves making it unhospitable for the indigenous Na'vi. It's a classic case of we came, we saw, we decided to gentrify everything. And who do they send to lead this new wave of destruction? None other than Colonel Miles Quaritch, the primary antagonist from the first film, who, despite having a couple of rather large arrows sticking out of his chest at the end of the last movie, has been resurrected. Not as a human, mind you, but as a recombinant, a Na'vi avatar implanted with Quaritch's memories and personality, a digital ghost in a giant blue machine. This is where the world building gets really interesting. It's a new level of science fiction body snatching, where the bad guy gets to walk around in the very body type he sought to destroy. His team consists of other recombinants, all former Marines whose consciousnesses were preserved, essentially a squad of super soldiers who are now, ironically, Na'vi. They are a terrifying sight, these blue hulks with human eyes, moving with the speed and strength of the Na'vi, but with the cold, calculating brutality of their human selves. Quaritch's primary objective, above all else, is revenge. He is obsessed with Jake Sully, seeing him as a traitor, and wants nothing more than to hunt him down and make him pay. It's a personal vendetta wrapped up in a corporate takeover, which feels very on brand for him. The forest quickly becomes a war zone once more. The air crackles with the discharge of energy weapons, and the ground trembles under the weight of AMP suits. Jake, with his years of military experience, expertly leads his Metkayina warriors, fighting guerrilla warfare against the technologically superior RDA. They use their knowledge of the forest, the winding paths, the dense foliage, and the loyal fauna to their advantage, staging ambushes, striking fast, and disappearing into the emerald depths. The sounds of battle are everywhere, the metallic clatter of AMP suits stumbling through the trees, the piercing cry of an energy blast tearing through the air, the guttural roar of a Na'vi war cry. However, the RDA quickly figures out that Jake is their leader, their spiritual guide, their one weakness. They start targeting him directly, understanding that if they cut off the head, the body will fall. One day, during a particularly fierce skirmish, the Sully children are caught in the crossfire. Ney'tiri, ever the protector, bravely fights, his bowstring humming as he releases arrow after arrow. Loak, always eager to prove himself, dives into the fray, risking too much. Typical. Kiri uses her deep connection to the forest to sense the movements of the enemy, her eyes glowing with an inner light, almost like she's tapping into Pandora's Wi-Fi network. Spider, being human, is at a significant disadvantage against the heavily armed soldiers, but still attempts to help,
demonstrating his fierce loyalty to the family. In the chaos, Spider is captured by Courage's recompetent squad. This is a cruel twist of fate, as Courage immediately recognizes Spider as his own son, a legacy he never knew he had. It's a genuinely unsettling moment, watching Courage, in his Na'vi form, interact with his human son, a son who despises everything his father represents. Spider, however, sees Jake as his true father, creating an immediate and poignant conflict of loyalty for the boy.
The capture of Spider is a wake-up call for Jake. He realizes that as long as he stays with the Metkayina, his family will be a target, and the entire clan will be in constant danger. He makes the agonizing decision to leave, to uproot his family from everything they know, everything they love, to protect them, and by extension, the Metkayina. It's a gut-wrenching moment, the weight of his choice evident in his stoic expression. Ney'tiri, ever the fierce protector, resists at first, her pain palpable as she looks at the forest, her ancestral home. But she ultimately agrees, understanding the necessity of his decision. The family gathers their meager belongings, a sense of heavy finality hanging in the air. The sounds of their departure are quiet, almost mournful, the rustle of leaves underfoot, and the hushed whispers of goodbyes. They embark on a long, arduous journey, leaving behind the familiar emerald canopy for an unknown future. Their path takes them far from the forest, across vast, unfamiliar landscapes, a journey filled with uncertainty and fear. They are refugees, seeking sanctuary, hoping to disappear among the myriad clans of Pandora. Their desperate journey leads them to the vast, shimmering turquoise expanse of Pandora's oceans. They arrive at the coast, a stark contrast to the dense jungle they've always known. The air here is salty, the light blindingly bright reflecting off the water, and the sounds are entirely different. The rhythmic crash of waves, the calls of unseen marine creatures, and the constant whisper of the sea breeze. They seek refuge with the Metkayina clan, the reef people, who live in harmony with the ocean. This is where the film really opens up its world-building, showcasing a completely different facet of Pandora. The Metkayina are physically distinct from the forest Na'vi. They have broader, flatter tails, ideal for propelling themselves through the water with powerful strokes. Their arms are stronger and more developed, adapted for swimming and holding their breath for extended periods. Their skin is often a slightly lighter shade of blue, adorned with intricate ceremonial tattoos that tell stories of their connection to the sea. Their homes are magnificent, organic structures built into the coral reefs, open to the elements, allowing the ocean's rhythm to flow through their daily lives. They live a life tied to the tides, the currents, and the incredible marine biodiversity of the reefs. The family's first impressions are of wonder and intimidation. The Metkayina are led by Tonowari, a stoic and powerful chief, and Ronal, his equally formidable and pregnant mate, who is also the clan's spiritual leader. Their immediate reaction to the forest Na'vi, especially Jake's avatar form, is one of suspicion and unease. The forest people are sky people to them, strangers who smell of the land, clumsy and ill-suited for the ocean. It's like asking a mountain goat to suddenly become a fish. It just doesn't compute. Ronal, in particular, is wary of the Sully children, noting Kiri's unusual appearance and Loak's extra finger, a genetic anomaly. It's a moment that highlights the subtle physical differences between the Na'vi clans, emphasizing the diversity within Pandora's indigenous populations. Despite their initial reservations, Tonowari, respecting Jake's status as Toruk Makto, the rider of the Last Shadow, grants them sanctuary, but on the condition that they learn the ways of the water. This is no easy task, and the Sully children, particularly Loak, find themselves outsiders, ridiculed by the Metkayina youth for their awkwardness in the water. The adaptation process is rigorous and often humiliating for the Sully kids. They are taught to hold their breath for extraordinary lengths of time, to swim with grace and power, to navigate the complex underwater currents, and to bond with the local marine creatures, especially the elu. The elu are fascinating creatures, akin to playful, intelligent plesiosaurs, with long necks and wide, flat heads, their bioluminescent patterns shifting with their moods. They are the Metkayina's primary mode of transport and companionship in the water. Bonding with an elu requires a deep spiritual connection, much like bonding with an ikran in the forest. Jake and Ney'tiri, too, struggle, but their adult resolve and experience help them adapt faster. Ney'tiri, a seasoned hunter, quickly picks up the underwater hunting techniques, her arrows finding their mark even in the shifting currents. Jake, with his military precision, learns to master the art of underwater combat and resourcefulness. The sounds of their training fill the water, the muffled splashes of their clumsy attempts, the whoosh of water as they try to mimic the graceful movements of the Metkayina, the occasional frustrated grunt or whispered instruction.
Kiri, however, is a different story. Her connection to Awa manifests in mysterious ways in the ocean. She struggles with normal swimming, but finds an extraordinary affinity with the plant and animal life of the reef. She can communicate with them, sense their feelings, and even control them to a limited extent. A sort of aquatic Dr. Dolittle, but with much higher stakes. When she dives, the reef seems to come alive around her, bioluminescent plankton swirling, coral swaying in rhythmic patterns, and fish responding to her presence. This unique ability is both a wonder and a source of concern for her family, particularly Ney'tiri, who doesn't quite understand it but fiercely protects her daughter. Kiri's most profound moments are spent in solitary communion with the ocean, her eyes closed, her fingers tracing the contours of the coral, listening to the silent song of the deep. It's a beautiful portrayal of the spiritual depth of Pandora's ecosystem, showcasing Kiri as a living conduit to its energy. Meanwhile, Loak, still feeling like the odd one out, constantly seeks to prove himself. His impulsive nature leads him into trouble. One day, during a daring venture beyond the safety of the reef with the other Metkayina youths, he encounters a massive solitary creature known as a tulkun. Tulkuns are enormous, highly intelligent cetaceans, far larger than any whale on Earth, possessing their own complex language, culture, and deep spiritual connection to the Metkayina. They are revered as siblings of the sea, each Metkayina having a tulkun spirit brother or sister. Loak, separated from his group and pursued by a particularly nasty marine predator called an akula, finds himself face to face with this giant tulkun who saves him from the predator's razor teeth. This tulkun, named Payakan, is an outcast, marked by a scarred ven and banished from his pod. Loak, finding a kindred spirit in the banished giant, forms an immediate and powerful bond with Payakan. Their connection is pure, based on mutual respect and understanding, and it's a beautiful example of cross-species friendship, reminding us that sometimes your best friend can be a several hundred-ton intelligent marine mammal. Payakan's story is tragic. He was involved in a retaliatory attack against humans who had hunted his family, resulting in his banishment. This bond with Payakan becomes a central thread in Loak's journey, giving him purpose and a place where he truly belongs.
Back on the human side, Courage, with Spider by his side, continues his relentless hunt for Jake Sully. Spider, despite his captivity, acts as a reluctant guide, leading Courage to various abandoned Metkayina sites, all while secretly trying to misdirect him or slow him down. He's caught between a rock and a hard place, his biological father, who is evil incarnate, and his adopted family, who he loves more than anything. Quaritch uses Spider's knowledge of Na'vi culture and the environment to his advantage, demonstrating a chilling adaptability in his recumbent form. They scour the forests, leaving a trail of destruction, their amp suits crashing through trees, their weapons tearing apart the vibrant flora. The sounds of their search are jarring, mechanical roars against the natural hum of the forest. Quaritch's methods are brutal and effective, forcing any Na'vi resistance into hiding or flight. The tension is constantly mounting as Quaritch closes in, a relentless predator on the scent of his prey. The RDA's true objective in the oceans of Pandora is soon revealed, and it's even more horrifying than their land-based colonization. They are here to hunt the tulkun, not for meat, not for territory, but for a precious fluid found in their brains called umrita. Umrita is a miracle compound that halts human aging, making it the most valuable commodity in the universe, an elixir of eternal youth. The RDA has deployed specialized hunting vessels, massive, technologically advanced ships that crisscross the ocean, equipped with sophisticated sonar and harpoons that can pierce the thick hide of a tulkun. They use smaller, faster Sea Dragon submersibles and crab suit exoskeletons for close quarters engagement and retrieval. The tulkun hunt is depicted with brutal honesty. The ships, massive and imposing, track the tulkun pods, their sonar pinging relentlessly through the water. Once a pod is located, the hunters descend, harpoons flying, piercing the gentle giants. The tulkun's cries of pain reverberate through the water, a mournful sound that chills the viewer to the bone. The subsequent processing of the tulkun, extracting the umrita, is a gruesome industrial process, a cold clinical slaughter that stands in stark contrast to the Metkayina's reverence for these creatures. It's a moment that highlights humanity's destructive greed and technological superiority against the natural world, a stark reminder of our own history of whaling.
The Sully family and the Metkayina clan eventually become entangled in this grim reality. Loak's bond with Payakan becomes a direct threat to the RDA's operations because Payakan, having previously attacked humans, is a particularly valuable target due to his aggressive history and unique brain structure.
The Metkayina, despite their deep love for the Tulkhan, are pacifists when it comes to conflict with the Sky People, fearing the destructive power of human technology. They have a strict cultural policy of non-intervention, understandable given the disparity in firepower. However, the blatant slaughter of their Tulkhan siblings creates immense internal conflict within the clan. Ronal, in particular, is deeply distressed by the hunting, her spiritual connection to the Tulkhan making her feel their pain directly. The sounds of the hunts, even from a distance, become a constant, unsettling presence in the peaceful reef. The RDA's brutal Tulkhan hunts continue, and the tension in the Metkayina village grows. Loak and Payakan, however, share information. Payakan, through their bond, reveals the locations of the hunting vessels and the tactics of the humans. This gives Loak vital intelligence, though he's still navigating how to use it responsibly. Spider, still with Quaritch, continues his internal struggle. He witnesses the brutality of the Tulkhan hunt firsthand, confirming his belief that his biological father is truly a monster. He tries to subtly sabotage Quaritch's efforts, leading him down dead ends, but Quaritch, cunning as ever, begins to suspect his son's divided loyalties. It's a complex dynamic, a human boy caught between two worlds, his heart pulling him towards his adopted family, while his blood ties bind him to his enemy. He's basically in a permanent "it's complicated" Facebook status with his dad. Eventually, the RDA, through relentless tracking and the accidental discovery of a Sully family tracer, which, let's be honest, was only a matter of time, finally locates the Metkayina village. The quiet life of the reef people is shattered by the arrival of the massive hunting vessels and the ominous hum of Quaritch's squadron. The air fills with the piercing shriek of their engines, the splash of their landing craft, and the metallic clang of their boots on the sandy floor. Quaritch, now knowing for certain that Jake Sully is hiding among the reef people, launches a full-scale assault. His objective is clear, to draw Jake out by capturing his children. This is the oldest trick in the book, isn't it? Attack the family and the Papa Bear will come running.
The ensuing battle is a spectacular clash of worlds, the raw power of nature against the cold efficiency of technology. The Na'vi, despite being outmatched in terms of firepower, fight with fierce determination, their agility and knowledge of the terrain being their greatest assets. Jake, Ney'tiri, Neteyam, Loak, and even Kiri and Tuk are thrust into the heart of the conflict. The Metkayina warriors, led by Tonawari, despite their pacifist stance, rise to defend their home and their adopted family. The water erupts with splashes and explosions, energy bolts sizzle through the air, followed by the satisfying thwack of Na'vi arrows finding their mark. The screams of battle mix with the metallic screech of damaged machinery and the roar of the Na'vi. Quaritch, ruthless and calculating, manages to capture Tuk and Kiri along with Loak, setting a trap for Jake. He threatens to kill them, pushing Jake to his absolute limits. Neteyam, displaying incredible bravery and selflessness, leads a daring rescue mission with Loak to free their siblings. They move with incredible speed and coordination, diving through wreckage, dodging enemy fire, their movements as fluid as the water itself. During the rescue, they find Spider, also captured by Quaritch, who uses him as bait. Neteyam manages to free him and the others, but in a tragic twist, he is shot by Quaritch. The crack of the gunshot reverberates through the chaos, silencing everything for a horrifying second. Neteyam collapses, the life draining from him. This moment is the emotional core of the film. Neteyam, the responsible, perfect son, dies in his father's arms, a devastating blow to the Sully family. Ney'tiri's grief is raw and primal, a guttural cry that cuts through the din of battle. She becomes a force of nature, her warrior instincts fully unleashed, a blur of righteous fury. Armed with her bow and her legendary skill, she exacts a brutal revenge on the RDA soldiers, her arrows finding their targets with chilling precision. The sounds of her arrows whistling through the air, followed by the wet thud of impact, are incredibly visceral. She takes hostages, demanding Quaritch back from her family.
The battle escalates into a frantic, chaotic showdown on the main RDA whaling vessel, which is slowly sinking after being heavily damaged by Payakan. Payakan, having been alerted by Loak, joins the fray, his massive body smashing into the ship, creating tidal waves and structural damage. It's a satisfying moment of creature empowerment, seeing the tables turned on the hunters. Crab suits scramble across the deck, their pincers clattering, while Na'vi warriors scale the ship's sides, their movements agile and swift. Underwater, Kiri uses her unique abilities, calling upon the bioluminescent creatures of the reef to confuse and attack the human soldiers, forming a living shield around her family. Her eyes glow with an ethereal light as she commands the ocean itself, turning the environment into a weapon. It's a spectacular display of world building as we see Pandora's spiritual network actively engage in defense. Loak, riding Peakon, becomes a formidable force, using his giant friend's strength to capsize enemy vessels and defend his family. Jake and Quaritch finally come face to face in a brutal hand-to-hand combat sequence amidst the sinking ship. The sounds of their punches connecting are heavy, bone-jarring thuds. The groaning metal of the ship, the rushing water, and the strained grunts of their efforts fill the air. It's a primal battle of wills, a clash between the past and the present, between two former Marines on opposite sides. Quaritch, in his avatar body, is a powerful opponent, but Jake fights with the desperate strength of a father defending his last surviving children. Ney'tiri, still filled with rage and grief, joins the fight, her agility and precision complementing Jake's raw power. She uses a knife to devastating effect, a silent blur of motion. In the underwater chaos, Jake and Quaritch are trapped. Jake is about to drown when Loak, with the help of Peakon, rescues him. It's a powerful moment of role reversal, the son saving the father, finally proving his worth. Spire, having been freed by Kiri, finds Quaritch, who is also trapped and drowning. Despite everything, despite the betrayal and the cruelty, Spider's human instinct, perhaps a remnant of his father's genetic code or simply an act of compassion, compels him to save Quaritch from the depths. It's a moment of moral ambiguity, leaving the audience to ponder the true nature of loyalty and forgiveness. Quaritch, seeing Spider's act, feels a flicker of something, perhaps genuine paternal feeling, or perhaps just a tactical opportunity. He then, in a very villainous move, disappears into the depths, vowing to return, because, of course, bad guys never truly die.
With the battle over and the RDA whaling vessel sunk, the Sully family is left to mourn Ney'tiri. It's a quiet, somber moment, the vastness of the ocean reflecting their immense grief. The sounds of gentle lapping waves and the distant cries of marine life replace the cacophony of war. They perform a Metkayina funeral ritual, sending Ney'tiri's spirit back to Awa, a deeply moving scene that underscores the spiritual connection the Na'vi have with their world and their ancestors. Jake, in a poignant conversation with Tonawari, reaffirms his commitment to his family and to the Metkayina way of life. He acknowledges that their family is now broken, but also stronger, bound by their shared ordeal and by Ney'tiri's sacrifice. They decide to officially integrate into the Metkayina clan, accepting their new home and their new purpose. The family is changed forever, but they have found a new sense of belonging and a renewed resolve to protect Pandora. The final images show the Sully family, now fully integrated, embracing their new home, their children swimming freely with the Ilu, a testament to resilience and adaptation, ready for whatever fresh hell humanity decides to unleash next. As we reach the peaceful yet poignant shores of this incredible journey, it's impossible not to feel the lingering echoes of the ocean's embrace, the whispers of ancient connections, and the raw power of familial love that defines this story. The Sully family's odyssey wasn't just about finding a new physical home. It was a profound spiritual migration, an act of radical adaptation that forced them to shed old skins and embrace the alien yet beautiful rhythm of the water. Their trials, their losses, and their ultimate resilience stand as a powerful testament to the enduring human, or rather Na'vi, spirit, reminding us that true strength often lies in vulnerability and the courage to transform. This story is a beautiful reminder that our deepest connections, both to each other and to the world around us, are what truly sustain us through the most turbulent storms. Avatar: The Way of Water is a truly magnificent achievement in cinematic world-building and visual storytelling. It expands Pandora's universe with breathtaking detail, immersing viewers in an alien ocean teeming with wonder and danger. The film's emotional depth, particularly regarding family and loss, coupled with its powerful environmental message, makes it a compelling and impactful experience, solidifying its place as a groundbreaking piece of cinema.